Quote, "In the flush of love's light, we dare be brave, and suddenly we see that love costs all we are and will ever be. Yet it is only love which sets us free." That's an excerpt from Maya Angelou's poem, Touched by an Angel, which I think perfectly represents the reason we're here today, which is to celebrate the love and happiness that Christian and Skylar have found together. To give you a bit of context, I've been one of Christian's best friends since childhood. We've seen each other through the best and worst that life has to offer, and honestly, Christian's the happiest that I've ever known him to be. So to start, I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into our friendship that we've had together by going back to 1999, the year we were both born, which was 22 years ago. As the saying goes, we were both born in the church because both of our parents attended the same church, so we attended a lot of the same events, gatherings, etc., and just saw a lot of each other. A funny story from one of those times, we both went to the same preschool together, and apparently I was playing with a football helmet, and I didn't want to share, so the teacher had to take it away from me and give it to Christian, and I was having none of that. So apparently, I went and I stole it back from him, and then I hit him on the head with it. Needless to say, I ended up in timeout, and I haven't been able to live the story down since, but luckily we repaired our friendship, and we spent a lot of time together in youth group in middle and high school, and to paint you a picture of that time, I want you to think of the nerdiest, dorkiest people you can think of. I'm talking about wearing Star Wars t-shirts all the time, going to Comic-Cons, cosplaying, calling ourselves Anglophiles because we watch British TV. That was us. To give you a little memento of that time, here's Christian meeting his hero Batman at one such Comic-Con that we got to go together, which we got to go together to. Definitely a highlight for both of us. But as I mentioned before, knowing each other for so long, we've seen kind of the best and worst and all the in-betweens that life has to offer. So for both of us, the highs have to do with relationships. In middle school and high school, we both spent a lot of time kind of commiserating over how sad and lonely and single we were and how we were never going to find love. And, years later, here we are today. Christian, you're getting married. I'm engaged, soon to be married. Never would have thought that 10 years ago, this is where we'd be. So happy we're here. But along with all of the highs, there definitely come a lot of lows. And for me, that low was when I had to have surgery on my thyroid because we thought it might be cancer and ended up not being, but it was still really scary, and I was really glad to have a friend like Christian be around to support me during that really difficult time. For Christian, that lowest low has definitely been recently with the sudden passing of his mom. Unfortunately, it was on the very same day that he proposed to Skylar. So obviously, this has been a really tough time for us. It hasn't been that long since it happened, but it actually leads into my third point, which is that Christian is the happiest that he's ever been. And I just know that Mama Rathke would want him to, really hold on to this happiness and celebrate the joy that they have in each other. Knowing Christian for so long, I feel like I can kind of speak to his happiness, and before he met Skylar, the happiest he'd ever been was when he adopted Winston. This is him not too long after adopting him. He's just the cutest little ball of fun that you could ever meet, which luckily that's been kind of overtaken by Skylar. And the biggest thing that stood out to me was actually Christian's social media accounts, which used to be purely kind of aesthetic photography accounts, until he met Skylar, and he started posting pictures of himself and pictures of himself with Skylar, and you can just see in the photos how genuinely happy they make each other. So, in short, today has been a very long time coming and is very well deserved, and I'm so happy that we're here. Again, to recap, I've known Christian since childhood, been one of his best friends since the dawn of time. We've seen each other through the highs and lows, everything in between, and hopefully will for decades to come. But the biggest thing is that Christian is the happiest I've ever seen him, and that's all because of you, Skylar. So I want to end with a quote from Anthony Van Brown, who said, quote, "The richness, beauty, and depths of love can only be fully experienced in a climate of complete openness, honesty, and vulnerability," which I think Christian and Skylar both really embody that deep, profound, rich love. So I just want to congratulate both of them and wish them a very long and happy marriage.